Hey, it's Scott on Security. I'm Scott Beck, CEO of Beck Tech and co-star of the Amazon Prime documentary Cybercrime. Look, it's time for us to get brutally honest. How is it that cyber criminals, an industry that didn't really exist 7 years ago, are now making billions and billions of dollars? We're talking a growth plan larger than Microsoft, larger than Google, larger than Amazon. How is it that they can keep making this level of money? It's our own dang fault. I'm saying it. We do it to ourselves. Too many businesses think that their staff already know how to deal with fake emails. They don't. They think they're not going to get hit till they do. Why am I bringing this up? Because I hear from business owners all the time, it's not going to happen to me. Why would cyber criminals be interested in me? And I think I've talked on this a few times. Cyber criminals may not care a thing about your data, but they know you do. And they know you're going to pay to get it back if they can get it. But sometimes they can take your data and use it as a stepping stone to get elsewhere. Or they can sell it on the dark web and try to make more money from that. And I've talked about the dark web before. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and look at some of my other videos around it. But from a high level, it's basically an Amazon or an eBay for cyber criminals where they can go and sell their ill-gotten gains, usernames, passwords, identities. We've seen complete computer system profiles. They've taken everything off someone's computer. So they'll say where the computer is, who the user is, what their email profile looks like, where their email is, what their social media accounts are, bank accounts. I mean, they've got everything that was on that computer, and they're selling it for like $27.99. I mean, it's something just silly, stupid, cheap, and they're even offering money-back guarantees. Anyway, that's the dark web. But again, how are they getting the information? Because some of you just don't think it's going to happen to you. So you don't bother putting any protections in place. You go, hey, you're a security guy. You're just trying to sell fear. Look, I'm not. Okay? I happen to get the phone calls and see the aftermath and see the broken hearts and the headaches and the pressure and the frustration and the fear of people when they're going through this. And why are they feeling all that? They've just lost access to all their data. Everything they've worked so hard to build up has now been compromised. And we're not talking $49 anymore to get your information back. That's what it used to be 7 years ago. When ransomware, which is where they come in, they lock all your files and say, hey, pay us a ransom or the hostage dies and you lose access to everything. That's what we're talking about in this situation. When it first came out 7 years ago, it's like $49. Most people say $49, whatever, we'll pay it, we'll get our data back. And then suddenly it was, all right, you pay your $49 and 2 out of 5 times you get your data back. The other 3 times, the bad guys took the money and ran. Well, cyber gangs, cyber criminals, organized crime, when they got involved, realized it was good business to raise the hostage rates, get more money, and to make sure that you deliver on the hostages. So we started seeing rates for payments going up. We started seeing, when people paid, getting access back to their files. But then what we also saw often was they would give you your access back, but they would leave a back door to then reinfect you again down the road. Because, hey, you paid once, chances are you'll pay again, and maybe you didn't learn from your lesson. Because, when a company gets hit, let's say you've got 100 computers. Let's say you got 20 computers. And somebody like me comes in and we clean things up and we say, okay, you paid the ransom, we got your files back. Oh, by the way, now we've got to format and reload all your computers and your servers because there's potentially a backdoor in your system and the bad guys are going to do it to you again. And then we tell you what that's going to cost. Well, it takes a couple of hours per computer to format it and reload it. Then it's going to take a day to get all the updates installed on it. And then we got to do your server, and then we got to reinstall all your software. We got to put your data back on it. Yeah, it could be a week, 2 weeks, depending how many computers you've got, of downtime. Well, you just had downtime because you didn't have access to your files, and now someone like me is telling you you're going to have more downtime to recover the situation so it doesn't happen again? No, some people are saying no, and then they're getting hit again. I know, you're saying, Scott, you're just selling fear. I'm not. I'm selling experience. This is happening, and we're seeing it more and more. I was reading an article, Tech Republic is the name of the application, and I posted it on social media. Take a look. It's interesting. It's a company in Kentucky, manufacturing company. They got hit by ransomware. Now, it's a small company. They had 8 computers, but they had everything encrypted. They thought they were protected, didn't realize what questions they should have been asking, and I'm not sure who their IT provider was or what the situation was, but their insurance company went, no, this isn't good. They got them in touch with I'm going to say someone like me. I don't know that for sure, but based on what I read, it certainly sounds like it was someone like me that understands how the cybersecurity stuff is working and how to deal with cyber criminals and what this looks like. They end up having to pay, think on this, $150,000 to get their data back. This is a small company, 8 computers, manufacturing. They had downtime, they had to recover, and then they paid out $150,000 for something that they probably could have protected against. I mean, there's things you can do to put in place. Now, can someone like me guarantee that you'll never be hacked? No. If someone's willing to take the time, energy, and money to get in to your stuff, it's going to happen. I mean, look, NASA spends, $50 million a year on security, and they can still get breached. However, we in smaller businesses, there's things that we should be doing, basic stuff, training our people, making sure that we've got advanced endpoint protection, next generation antivirus, for lack of a better term, in place. Make sure that we've got breach notification in place. So if something gets through our firewall and our security and somebody clicks on something, we get notified it's actually happening. We know that it's about 200 days from the time that bad guys get into your network until it's discovered. That's what law enforcement tells us. There's these things you got to do, and if all else fails, you've got to have a rock-solid business continuity and backup solution in place so that you can go, I'm not paying you the ransom. We're just going to restore everything back. The bad guys are onto that too, because some of them, we saw this happen with a law firm in Atlanta. The bad guy said, you don't want to pay us the ransom? Oh, you got your data back? Okay. Well, we took copies of all your stuff. We have it on our servers. We're just going to start selling it online. And that's how we're going to get our money back. So it kind of went from ransom to blackmail. Much easier if you just take some time and energy and thought and invest to protect your company. Right? Much cheaper in the long run than having to deal with all this downtime and all the losses. And look, Scott's on his high horse because it really, really disappoints me when I read about a company that got hit for $150,000. Look, if we all had $150,000 sitting in our bank accounts just waiting to do something, wouldn't you rather reinvest that into your company? Maybe take it out as a dividend personally, pay off debt, whatever the case is. We as business people would have something better to do with that $150,000 than to pay bad guys. And that's what it comes down to. And I better get down off my high horse here and slow it down, because it just irks me that we have protections and stuff in place, but yet so many business people still think it can't happen to them. They're using hope as a business strategy. And folks, look, just like the Amazon documentary Cybercrime that I co-starred in, we said it wasn't a question of if, but a matter of when. You've got to have some protection, or at least have a plan, or knowingly decide that, hey, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to hope that I'm obscure enough that none of my people will ever get an email that's bad enough that they'll click a link and I'll get ransomware. That's going to be my business strategy. Okay, if you're educated and you know that's a risk, and that's a risk you've decided to take on, so be it. There's nothing I'm going to be able to say that's going to change your mind. But if you're just kind of here and going, hey, I hadn't thought about that. Really? It's $150,000 now? You need to reach out to a cybersecurity specialist, someone that specializes in this kind of stuff. It's great that there's still computer people around that go and fix computers. People on my team still do that. But you need to partner up with someone that understands cybersecurity, can understand how the bad guys think. Hey, I don't know everything a bad guy thinks about. I just know different layers and ways that they're going to try to come in, and that there's protections you can put in place about that. Okay, I promise I'm wrapping up now. You have a great day, and please be safe out there, safe computing, and we'll talk to you soon.